Hi guys, Moodship here. I hope you all had a lovely start to the week. Today, my goals are to gather some basic resources. I'm specifically looking to mine some coal, stone and iron. On top of that, I plan to make a farm so that I could grow some food. Because my house is very dark at the moment, I think the first thing we should look for is some coal. And if I remember correctly, I saw some coal peeking out just across the river behind the house. First of all, let me show you what happens if I try to mine even just stone without any tools. As you can see, it takes quite a while to break the block, but on top of that it also drops nothing. However, if we use even just a wooden pickaxe, the block will drop as cobblestone, much more useful. So whilst I mined some cobblestone, I grabbed the coal I saw peeking out just across the river, in a watering hole between my house and the village, and lastly I checked the hill from which I'd been chopping trees. Couldn't grab it all before my pickaxe broke and I decided to head back home before it got too dark. On the way home, I noticed that some of my crops were fully grown, so I planted them out to increase the amount of seedlings I will have for my crop field later on. As soon as I get home, I first spend some time making torches to light the place up a bit. In the new 1.18 update, the light level is not as important as in the previous versions because the light level needed to spawn hostile mobs is now basically 0. In previous versions, the light level had to be higher than 8, otherwise your hostile mobs would have spawned. The next day I went about crafting some stone tools. If you hover over an item, you can see the attack speed and the attack damage each tool has. Because the attack damage for an axe is higher than that of a sword, I'd rather make axes than swords at this stage of the game. Because I have a couple of sheep that I keep shearing for their wool, I decided that I'll colour some wool for a floor. So I went out to gather some plants that I can turn into dye, which I can use to colour the wool. On my way back from gathering some plants, I also decided to do some hunting to get some meat. Die, sheepy, die! After cooking the mutton, I smelted the cactus into green dye and then turned the cornflowers I'd gathered into blue dye and combined some of that to make cyan dye. Now that I have my stone tools, I returned to one of the caves I looked in for coal earlier, which I found iron in, and I mined that before going along the river to find some surface iron. Rather, I found a creeper, or it found me. Now, usually I just run away from creepers. I am not very good at fighting them. They usually blow up in my face, either hurting me seriously or killing me. But this time I managed only just to kill it. Yay, go me, monster hunter! I headed back into that same cave. I had a skeleton shooting at me. First just stood and defended myself before I decided finally to venture in and kill it. not placing down any torches as I went. I dropped a torch after having killed the skeleton, saw a zombie coming after me, and decided to turn tail and run. Having gathered some courage, I went back in looking for the zombie, and it wasn't even there. Saw some creepers in the distance, but I also found some iron, so I just decided to block that off with some dirt so that they couldn't reach me, and mine the iron in peace. Deciding that was enough for me, I headed back home, grabbing some sugarcane on the way, and seeing some salmon, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to do some fishing using a pickaxe. Gives me experience, gives me the fish, but doesn't give anything else. Fishing with a fishing rod will give you the possibility of catching other things like a saddle for some reason. Planted the sugarcane closer to home where it will grow while I'm in the area, smelted my iron into iron ingots, and whilst that was going, I decided to plan out my farm plot. Went back inside, grabbed the iron ingots, made a bucket, made some shoes. I decided for shoes instead of a helmet because then I could have one iron ingot left over in case my shield broke and I needed another one. Whilst I was doing that, I heard an Enderman whooping around, tried to chase it, but when I saw this cat, I got distracted. I had the raw salmon army and I decided to try and tame the cat.
Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow.
Having chased after the cat for almost 2 minutes, it finally came close enough and I could tame it with just one fish. Best friends forever. Advancement rate. So, had the cat stand up and we headed back to the village where I decided on the way to just grab some sand so that I could smelt it into glass in order to make some windows for my house. And then we went raiding the village farm plots again. I grabbed some more carrots, some potatoes. Be careful when you do this. If the villager is around, sometimes they tend to grab the potatoes or the carrots or whatever it is back when you are trying to get it. Decided to check the village. I found one chest in the entire village, and in that chest I found 2 potatoes and a feather, and that was about it. I again planted out my seedlings, grabbed a bucket of water, and I finished up my farm plot now that I had tools to do so. Without the water, it just dries up. Halfway through, my wooden hoe broke, had to go inside and make a stone hoe, finished off the farm plot, and then I just planted all of my seedlings. Decided to use the bones I had to make some bone meal just to help the plants grow a bit. As soon as they are full grown, they drop more than one, and I can increase the number of plants that I have. So potatoes are a very good one to use. Potatoes are very good for your hunger as well as saturation. So I decided on increasing the potato amount that I had. And I planted them out to increase that and bone mealed those as well. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. See you next time. Bye!